every time I go to post. I'm horrible at recording music, but anyway, here we go. That's as much as my musical memory goes on that. I actually don't remember past that. My mind just goes blanks. I probably, if I grab the music again, I'd probably like it probably come back. What better way to introduce a video on sexual impropriety than the music of Beethoven? So, actually, this piano introduction has nothing at all to do with the topic of this video. I just was picking different areas of the house, and I thought, oh, like, how about right here next to the piano? And I had this open, and I thought, oh, well, why don't I just play some music when I come in? You know, and it's funny because Beethoven, I mean, I don't dislike Beethoven, but Beethoven is not my musical bread and butter. That is not even the period of my musical bread and butter at all. I am much more of a Scarlatti man. I like Bach. I like early music. Okay, composers that you've not heard of before. You know, the average person hasn't heard of before. I'm probably more into that music. You know, like Peter Phillips. Okay, as a composer who I'm into, whose music, the type of music that I'm into. William Byrd, Thomas Tallis. Now these composers are known to like musicians and stuff like that. But you know, for the average person that is like, you know, Joe Blow, that isn't into that type of music, that those are names that they're not going to know, like Beethoven or Mozart or something like that. But they're not obscure by any stretch. Anyway, though, and I will play some of that music, not right now, but I will. A lot of stuff I'm trying to get to. But now we're trying to get to sexual impropriety, because that's the topic of the day. I need something to drink. I don't have any alcohol either. That'd be a great subject for sexual impropriety. I'd be trying to sexually harass you, the viewer, by the end of it, probably. Okay, so we're not going to discuss my sexual. Actually, it's exactly we're going to discuss my sexual impropriety, because I have some to talk about. In fact, mine's so light, though, honestly, or else I probably wouldn't have the balls to talk about it. I'm just grabbing some water here for myself. Sexual impropriety is a topic because because my most recent Facebook post deals with a joke I made. I was trying to be, I'm trying to do challenging humor, and that's true. I am. I'm trying to, it's the piece that made Adam Neely famous. Played on the bass. It was pretty cool. And I've never actually watched the original video. I just have seen him reference it in other clips. Adam Neely, love you. Your videos are awesome. You are, wow. I haven't watched the white supremacy in Western music theory yet. I'm dying to see that, because that caught my interest immediately, because Well, just, it's like a provocative title. I mean, of course we know you know what I mean? I mean, Western art music is definitely quote white music. And I think I know where Adam's getting at with that, but whatever comes out of Adam's mouth is something that I am interested in listening to. He's a very smart guy. He's very insightful, and man, if I wasn't engaged. Anyway, so all right, sexual impropriety. And Adam Neely. All right. No. Have I made that clear now? I have. Okay, all right. Let's see. A cigar is never just a cigar. So what am I? Sexual impropriety and pouring water into a glass, what could that mean? Nothing to me. I'm just hoping you guys are going to sit there and be like, what does that mean? Anyway, though. Cold water right out of my refrigerator. It's so warm here today. The air quality was excellent. It was down to 26, so the air quality was good. I don't like the fact that we can't see the Blessed Mother entirely, by the way. I'm into her. I'm into something good, and she's pretty good. Something tells me I'm into Blessed Mother. All right, there we go. This is actually a print from like 1531 too. I love Christian art. I'm really big on it. I can't afford the original, like the expensive Christian art. So I like, cheap knockoffs are good for me. I got this candle of the Blessed Mother from the dollar store, and I think it's great. You know what I mean? It's whatever. I mean, it's your typical, like, you find it in any Mexican home, and it's good in my home too, man. Because this is, I love it. I was Mexican as the next guy, and yeah. So anyway, sexual impropriety. What do we want to say about that? Well, let me start. Let's start out with this. I defend Donald Trump. One of the reasons I do like Donald Trump, which is a great place to start our discussion of sexual impropriety on 45, right? One of the few things I do defend Donald Trump on are things that, one of the reasons I like him is because he does have the balls to say stuff and come out and talk about things that, like, we're already all doing. One thing I don't like about us as a people, okay, as an American people, and especially liberals, tend to be the worst with this. And I am a liberal, you know what I mean? I count myself in that group. I'm not one of those types of people that's like, I'm a libertarian or I'm independent. Like, that's veiled conservatism, in my opinion. Honestly, it really is. Like, when it comes down to it, people are like, I'm not, I'm nonpartisan. I don't take sides. And they start talking, and they say they're a libertarian. And they start talking. What I'm hearing is right wing, is what I'm hearing. So to me, it's right wing. I don't give a shit what they call themselves. So anyway, though. I mean, it's slightly different from typical right-wing stuff. I mean, there are things in there that do. I'm not saying that it's bullshit and that it's just, you know what I mean. There's a valid reason for calling oneself libertarian. I mean, I see the slight difference, but really, when it boils down to it, you know what I mean. It's a conservative. Is really what it is. It's not hugely different. If you had to throw it one camp or another, it's closer to a Republican than it is a Democrat. I can tell you that much. Especially because of its lack of concern for other people and its attitude of needing to take a stand against injustice or positions of social justice. That's absent in libertarianism. They don't really give a shit much about getting someone else's back if they're in trouble, and that to a liberal means that you're a fucking conservative, and I agree, absolutely. You know what I mean? If you have that attitude of like, fuck you, this is my money, I don't owe you any of my money, I'm not paying taxes, screw you, take care of yourself, I'll take care of myself, you are not my kind of people. All right, I can tell you that right now. Sorry. I mean, I can like you, I can sit in a bar and have a drink with you, and stuff like that and get along. We can have a great time. We can have a friendship, even a deep friendship. But I just said I don't like you after that. But, you know, somehow that's possible, man. I don't know. I'm Pisces. I'm like that, dude. I'm like that. So let me put it this way. I can like you as long as you're not an asshole about it. Let's put it that way. You know, but if we really get down, you know, hopefully, let's put it this, hopefully, this is how we'll get along. You don't pry too deep, and you go easy on stuff, and I'll go easy on stuff, and then we'll get along, and we'll have a great friendship. That's it. Good, you know. But if we take ourselves too seriously, and we have those differences, we're not going to like each other because we're not going to be nice. But that goes both ways, is what I mean. I guess, you know. There's a lot of contradictions in life, seeming contradictions that still play out, though. I mean, they still, you know, like, that's just the way it is. The older you get, the more that makes sense to people, you know. I'm thinking of Garland Smith right now, honestly. I don't know why. Not that I'm doing this video on sexual propriety, not that just out of the blue. I just want to say that right now. Garland, it's nothing about that. When I'm thinking about it, the reason I bring him up is because I feel like he's got the wisdom to kind of see stuff like that, you know? Like, one of the things I like about, I'm going to pretend right now we're not doing the video on sexual impropriety, okay? Because, in fact, I'm starting to think that this might not even be a video on sexual impropriety right now, okay? Chalk it up to the Holy Spirit, because I want to talk about Garland Smith, who for a minute. And that is, here's a guy that, I just see a kind of a wisdom in him that, you might not think on the surface. And I think he knows what I'm talking about, you know, for example, you know, but he's just incredibly insightful. He's incredibly insightful, you know, but what do you expect from someone that's got a math degree? You know what I mean? So he's like, whoa, how'd you know that? Well, I remember you mentioned that in the post. And I'm not surprised. You're pretty bright. I mean, just, you know. But let's put this out there. A lot of people think, you know, a guy from Texas that's into square dancing, that he's just going to be a yokel, like whatever, you know, but that's not true. That's not true at all. I can tell you right now, because I'm into square dancing, and I would like to call square dances, and I'm a pretty smart guy too, and so here we go. You got two smart guys here, and we don't care how we look. I mean, that's not true. We do, you know. Here I am calling solidarity with a guy I'd never even met from a couple states away. Well, I hope that, you know, I do feel that way with you, Garland. I hope that, you know, you're not going, I don't know what his deal is. I hope you feel that way with me too, because I think you're pretty. I wasn't lying when I said you have pretty awesome Facebook posts. I do follow them with enthusiasm. But anyway, so what Garland does talk about a lot, one of my favorite subjects is food. And he will talk about, you know, like a lot of people though, like his experiences going out to different restaurants and how it was. And I just, he's very matter of fact about it. And I don't know. He's one of those types of people. You go into Facebook and you look up and there's always for me, there'll be sometimes just one for a while, but sometimes at max there'll be like 2 or 3 people at a period of time, where I am really into their posts. Everything they see is it's like, wow, it's magic, you know. But ever since Garland has been on my Facebook friends list, he's been he's had that permanent spot. Another, for example, another one of my favorite people who doesn't always have posts that I'm like, wow, is Diane FitzGibbon. You know what I mean? And I feel okay saying that because Diane is. I don't know, I can't even explain the reasoning for my strong feelings of affection toward Diane FitzGibbon. I don't know, they're over and above and beyond anything that would make sense. I have no idea why. I almost look up to her like she's like the Blessed Mother or something and I have no idea why. I mean, she's a member of my church. And she's someone who definitely I look up to. She leads the kind of life that I aspire to. That's true. But a lot of people do. You know what I mean? That said, I do not know why. For example, Diane is one of the people that if she did something, we've been trading challenging humor lately, at least challenging for us. And if she took it to the level of unfriending me just to kind of I have to admit, even if I knew it was a joke, it would hurt me. It would. And I'm saying that now, so please don't do that to me. Seriously, please, because that really, we don't need to go that far. I mean, But at the same time, I will say this. I'm not going to not post anything that you don't approve of. I'm not going to not post anything just because you don't approve of it. If you have to unfriend me over something, Diane, so be it. But that would suck to me. You know what I mean? But I have to do what I got to do, and I know that you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? I think that you would do the same thing. You know, if you were me, and that's why we probably like each other because of that. Because we're that kind of people. We're true to our ideals, and that's very, very important. And you know, sometimes, you know, I've wondered too. Going back to Garland Smith, I'm like, here's this straight guy with a family in Texas, reading this fags post from San Francisco, who's an ex-drug addict. Now, I know from Garland's movie tastes that he's pretty cool people. He obviously doesn't get shocked too easily. And especially if I didn't know that from his movie tastes and the entertainment tastes that he talks about, then I would know that by now, the fact that he's still following my posts. But I'm impressed by that, but I'm also a little scared because I admire, he's someone that I look up to, and I'm so proud to have, like, as a Facebook friend, you know, like one of those quality posters, one of those quality friends that, you know, and let's face it, I'm not saying that anyone else is not quality, but what I'm saying is that there are some people on your Facebook friends list that you're like, that some of you forget are there, because, you know, they don't post that much, and you don't talk to them that much. Or, you know, there are people, those mediocre people, and actually I would say a lot of times for a lot of people's Facebook friends, even the mediocre people are more toward the active end, because there's probably, if you went through your Facebook friends list, I bet you there's a lot of people you're like, oh yeah, them, oh wow, I haven't talked to them in a while, oh, you know, people you've really kind of forgotten about because they don't show up in your newsfeed that much, they don't post, they don't create content, and even if they do, you know, we have a limited amount of time during the day. You know, most of the posts, if I comment on your post or I like your post right now in my life, it's probably because I opened up Facebook to post something, and it was like in the top 3 posts that just showed up on the homepage. I do feel a little bit bad about that because I feel like, you know, Justin, if you want people to look at your shit, you need to look at their shit, and I do believe that, but I don't, you know. I practice it as much as I do because of that, because that is there, and I make myself, you know, people I like, I make an effort to you know, go check and a little bit more. I don't do it consistently or evenly or whatever, but I do make it's a constant effort that I make, and I'm concerned about it, and I think that's what matters most, is that it's of concern to me. Then I'm happy, you know what I mean? Because I know that you can't do everything. Whoa, this really has no focus at all. So, let's go back to sexual impropriety now that I've said my piece about Garland Smith and Diane FitzGibbon. Okay. I haven't said my piece about Brock Turner, by the way. No, I have. No, really. But anyway, so 45, though, you know what I mean? Like, he's right about stuff. You know, first of all, like somebody... I'm going to go to Margie Burke for a minute, okay? This is sexual impropriety, same topic. This better makes my point. It introduces a lot of stuff that'll make for a better video, so we'll start there. You know, everybody can be self-righteous, and just Democrats can really be smug. Like, liberal Democrats can be really smug about stuff, and I, as a liberal Democrat, one of the things I love to do, you know, anybody can hammer the conservatives. They give you so much material, whatever, yawn. I like to go after fucking liberal Democrats and bust their ass when they fucking think their shit doesn't stink. That's what I enjoy doing. That's where I like to drop the hammer. And so Margie, like a week ago, I don't remember when this was, like a few days ago, whatever. It's hard to kind of keep track of time right now for me, but which it helps posting Facebook because it's a good reference for me. But she makes this post basically of like, you know, list all these things that Donald Trump has done, and it's like, you know, the day Nancy Pelosi has to do this or do that, and one of the things she's like, you know, the day Nancy Pelosi has to pay for sex or, you know, like whatever, and I'm like, aha, ding. As soon as I saw that, I boom replied to Margie Burke, and I'm like, if Nancy Pelosi did pay for sex, would that make her less of a person? Because I have paid for sex, and I've been paid for sex before. Now, I wouldn't call myself a prostitute in the sense of like that's what I did as a regularly, repeatedly. But I have
on more than one occasion. Actually, I should say I've attempted to pay for sex. That slimy is done. Hello. I mean, like, I've more been paid for sex than I have attempted. I've been willing to pay for sex. I haven't so much done that, but I have a couple times been paid for sex. You know, and I will talk more about that later because honestly, I've applied a lot of like conditions on that. You know what I mean? That, for example, it's not the same thing I was not willing to be anally penetrated. You know what I mean? For money. I'm not gonna. That's too invasive for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm also not willing. I'm by process of elimination. I'm going to let you know what happened here in the most decent video possible on sexual impropriety. And there is a purpose of it. I'm not trying to be graphic, but I'm trying to let you know like how that I wasn't willing to compromise myself, even though I was willing to be paid for sex. There were things that I were not. I think you'll get the idea of what I was not willing to violate, let be violated. So I was not willing to be anally penetrated, and I was not willing to perform oral sex on somebody that I wouldn't have for free. Let's put it that way. So what does that leave, really? All right, like you're like, oh my God! But see, you know what I mean? And let's face it, okay? Now, those of you watching the video at home alone, right? You know, a lot of you would probably accept money to get a blowjob. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't married, I'm talking about single dudes. You know what I mean? Now, you could be straight. Let's say, just pick a person that you know you're not opposed to that much. It's really just, you don't have to. You know what I mean? It's not very invasive. It's not like getting something up your butt or like putting something in your mouth you don't want. It's like literally like you can play the piano while you're doing it, for God's sakes, and make some money. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not suggesting that you do this, by the way. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make it relatable. Which, you know, to a guy, come on. Now here's the problem. Here's the point of the sexual impropriety I want to make. A lot of you guys out there, I don't even need to go through all this to sell it. All right, a lot of guys are like, yeah. But you guys get together in a group, and everyone's like, oh my God, especially Republicans. They're like, oh my, this is disgusting, blah, 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 blah. But they all would do it anyway, privately. Like, and that is what I like about Donald Trump, is that he's willing to come out there and say it. You know what I mean? And the grab her by the pussy comment, I don't use that against him. I don't attack Donald Trump on a lot of his sexual stuff, like Stormy Daniels stuff. I may make fun of him and, you know, tease him about it, but I don't use it as a reason that he, you know what I mean? It's not a character assault for me, because it isn't really. I'm sorry. Like I've done those things. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, come on, Charlie, look at all these people in the Me Too movement. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not trying to take any legitimacy away from women that have been, or men, really. Actually, that's a whole other story, okay? Because let me tell you something right now. Police do not take, I'm just going to touch this and we'll go back. Police do, still, to this day, if you're gay and you say you got raped by another man, they'll, you know, good luck. Good luck. It happens. In fact, and here in Pacifica, one of our own, Joe Courtney, I knew Joe Courtney. I knew him well enough, like many gay people that were on methamphetamine in this area. Everybody knew Joe. In fact, I know a ton of people I know a number of people that at least claim that they got victimized by Joe. I actually had unprotected sex with Joe. And I'm still HIV negative. I don't know how the hell that happened. I know how that happened. He didn't, you know, finish. Like, it's what happened. It was like a 2-second thing, and I was like, you know, in fact, I still have Joe's phone number in my phone. It's weird. I deliberately haven't deleted it. I'm weird about that. Like, I have dead people in my phone too, and I keep them there just because, you know. But Joe's in there. Joe got convicted. For those of you that don't know, Joe Courtney. Pretty bad dude. He had a lot of charisma though, just like a lot of people like that. Like Ted Bundy had charisma and stuff. And now, Joe wasn't a murderer, but let me tell you what Joe did. It was pretty fucking bad. Joe would lure underage boys like 16, not like pedophile age, but like 16, 15, 16, 17, over to you know, that were kind of at-risk youth, you know, kids that would be interested in trying drugs, over to his house in Pacifica. And now Joe was HIV positive, by the way. Tell people he was not. And these kids, you know, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. GHB is a date rape drug. A lot of people know that. Did GHB would get these kids, you know, hey, try this, it'll be fine. And then this is terrible, you know. But yeah, you know where I'm going with that. These kids, and a lot of them ended up with HIV, and he would show them. And not only that, you know, you think that's bad? No. What happened is when they were knocked out on G, a lot of times I guess what they... Now, I want to say that I did not know any of this was going on. I knew Joe was up to shady shit. Okay, let's put it that way. But Joe was super discreet about, I mean, not telling... Joe wanted to be a police officer at one time. When I first met him, I first met Joe Courtney when he was like 19 years old. And he came over to my house, and I was like, he's actually a very good looking guy. And so like, I was in my like mid-20s or something like that, and I was like maybe 5 or 6 years older than him. When he came over, I was like, whoa, jackpot, you know. And at that time, he was still in school, and he wanted to become a police officer. He was going to community college to study criminal justice, wanted to become a police officer. I shit you not. And what was the thing here I'm trying to say? Well, anyway, so I didn't know though. I knew that I only learned about all this stuff after he was, you know, somebody was like, hey, Joe Courtney got arrested and blah, blah, blah. And then I found out that you know, I knew that he was out having orgies and shit at his house. Like, of course I knew that, and drugs, like a lot of people are, but I did not know he was like luring underage kids over there and doing that. I had no clue about that. Anyway, so like what he was doing is like knocking these kids out and then inviting other guys over. And they were like, to these unconscious kids, infecting them with HIV, shooting it on video, and then showing the video to the kids afterward, and you know, and using it to blackmail the kids, like, hey, you know what? Come. Now this is these poor kids. I mean, seriously, this is. I read in one news article, like on one of the news channels, that this was like one of the things that you said to some kid. Is that like the kid said that he showed him the video, and that he said, you know, if you don't come back for more, I'll send this to your parents. Now, of course, I would have been like, fuck, yeah, please do, buddy. Watch what fucking happens to you. Absolutely. I mean, that sucks. You know what I mean? I mean, I'd like to think that, honestly, a 17-year-old would still be smart enough to figure that out, you know, but, like, I'm not being hard on, I mean, come on, you know, like, that's just, either way, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, you know. So anyway, so Joe is in jail for like 30 years. I actually looked him up like recently to see what, you know, where he went. This was like, when I say recently, I mean within like the last 2 years or whatever, because his case was in court for a while. You wouldn't believe his lawyer basically said. His lawyer, if I had a lawyer like that, I don't know. I would have. I hope the guy was a public defender, because like his defense of Joe was like, it was basically this. You know what? It was just a bunch of guys getting together doing drugs, and it just got blown out of proportion. Like, that was his defense. The lawyer literally said that. Literally said it was just, you know, it just blown out of kind of fabricated and made to look worse than it really is. I mean, like, how the fuck can you say that? Like, are you serious right now? That was his whole defense. He was trying to make it as if it was no different, really, than a group of guys, except, you know, so they happen to be just under 18, big deal, who got together for some consensual sex that, like, just didn't go quite right. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Like I said, that guy better be a public... I hope Joe didn't pay for that attorney, because fucking, what the... Are you serious? What did he graduate from? Fucking, like, Kenyatta College Law School or something? Night school or what? I fucking, you know, no shot against Kenyatta, but you know what I'm trying to say. Man, Dershowitz fucking, I think with severe brain damage could come up with a better defense than that. Anyway, so that's a bad dude. Okay, that, Joe Courtney's a bad dude. Most people though are not that. Most of us though, we are humans and we do things that like are not bad, but like with this whole, something's happened. It's almost like a witch hunt. I'm gonna sound like a typical like angry white male here or something like that. That whole syndrome like whatever happened to the good old days. I'm not trying to do that because it really isn't that, but something is really weird here. Something has happened like where we're making, I think, a whole bunch of people that really aren't doing anything wrong look very, very bad. Okay? Like let me start talking about myself and what I've done. Okay? Have I pressured people? Have I tried to like arm twist people into having sex? Not really. Not really. But like if I were a celebrity, I could see how somebody could fucking make the accusation because it's close enough. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like because like how we do. Like for example, perfect example. Okay, the Dean Martin song, Baby It's Cold Outside. Okay? Now that, totally innocent sounding, right? Now if you listen to that song though, if you really take that literally, like that is a sexual harassment charge right there. Like seriously. But it's not, dude. It is not. Like we are going too far with shit. Okay? Like, you need to know the difference between being Joe Courtney. Have I tried to pressure somebody into like talking them into taking their clothes off? Absolutely I have. But I never lost sight of the fact that like I don't have the right to like step over that bound and say like, whoa, boom, you're gonna do, you know what I mean? I say you're gonna take those clothes off right now, or like, or, you know what? I was gonna say, or something like, if you want this job, I've kind of done that too, where I have. Sorry, I mean, I'm not proud of it, but I have tried to use influence before, in the nicest, most, you know what I mean, Justin way possible, while still being a horny male, like, to try to use that influence to try to get laid. I have. But you know what? Again, it's not Joe Courtney, and it is not rape. Okay, and it is not even sexual harassment. Okay, now the reality is, I mean, you're never going to be able to eliminate that in life. Like I talked about, like in show business. Okay, like you are never. I don't care how much cleaning you do. Now I'm not saying Harvey Weinstein, like that is too much. Understandably, that is too much. And Bill Cosby, like yeah. Totally, I'm not trying to give those guys a pass. Absolutely not. But like Charlie Rose, I forget exactly what happened there, but I do remember at the time, seemed pretty timid to me, honestly. And Kevin Spacey, one of my favorite actors, but also like nothing really happened. Come on, dude. I don't care. I hit on like 21-year-olds all the time, dude. I'm sorry. Like it doesn't make me. I'm sorry. And it doesn't make me a bad person. I'm gonna hit on 21-year-olds again. You know why? You know why it's not a problem? First of all, because you, as the American people, said it's not a problem. It's fucking well over legal. And I don't care if you think I'm 41 and I should be with like someone within 2 or 3 years my age. Fuck you. I can decide to be with if I want an 18-year-old kid, I can do it. And you can't say shit about it. And if you think that that's a problem, okay, for somebody, maybe we should get together and change the laws about it. But until we do, everyone says it's fine. And I think it is well fine. I mean, it's even well fine, sometimes even below that emotionally, but I'm not getting into that. And I'll be honest with you, personally, I don't go there. I don't go there. When I was hooking up online, let me tell you something. If anyone was even close, I made a couple people show up to sexual encounters with me. I was like, make sure you have ID, because if you don't, I'm not going there. I'm telling you right now. Because I'm serious about that. I like young guys. But I like, honestly, like my like what really, like, you know what I mean? Like what really does it for me is like dudes in their early, like the look of like maybe like 20, 25, 23 to 25, like, you know what I mean? Like, so nowhere close. If it's even getting close to like, is this legal? I'm not even that attracted to whoever is even close to that to even risk or even try to risk or even think about risking that. I'm not interested whatsoever. Anyway, so, but you know, what else do I want to say about that? But sexual impropriety. So, you know, I mean, think about it. Like, do I think if I were Donald Trump living that kind of lifestyle, I might say or do grab a few pussies? You know, if I were Donald Trump, I think so. I think even if I wouldn't, I can see how somebody would. That's, you know, that's the jet set. I mean, that happens. I don't think that makes somebody such a horrible person. I don't think that we should attack Donald Trump. Donald Trump is doing enough fucked up shit. Okay, aside from grabbing someone's pussy, okay, which I'm sorry, if you, no offense toward women, but if that ruined your whole fucking life and took you down, well then you're a weak piece of shit idiot anyway, honestly. Like, really, if you were that broken by having your fucking pussy grabbed in public by a celebrity, then you fucking barely deserve to live anyway, because you don't have your shit together. Like, seriously, you are that much of a weak whatever. You have more problems than just Donald Trump grabbing your pussy. That's what I'm trying to say. All right? Like, there. If you don't like it, tough shit. All right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you didn't know this, and everyone watching this video knows, it takes a lot of strength to live day to day. You cannot be, you know? Like, because there's a lot of shit in life that is just gonna, you know, you have to have somewhat of a thick skin. You do. You know? And the reason is because if you're too much of a pussy, all right, you're not going to be able to handle daily life enough to be able to be around to solve the problems. Like, I mean, I said, for example, like one of the best things about inappropriate laughter is that those are the people that are still standing around later to do something about the inappropriate situation and solve it, because they didn't, you know, didn't fall away weak. Now, I'm not trying to pull this, you know, strength like Hitler used to talk about, the strength, you know what I mean, strength in Mein Kampf. I'm not getting at that. No, that's a different, I'm not trying to say that, you know, and I'm not trying to, even though it seems that I'm creating a line here, drawing a line in the dust here, and saying that some people are strong and some people are weak. In my version of this, all of you, you know, can be potentially in the strong camp that I'm saying. I'm not saying that there are inherently strong and weak people, but I'm trying to appeal to everyone's sense of strength here to kind of get a hold of themselves and not flip out over trivial shit, really, okay? I mean, there's enough serious stuff, there's enough, Joe Courtney is someone to flip out over, in a situation to flip out over, okay? Like, me, if I were an aspiring actor, being in a bar, getting my dick grabbed by Kevin Spacey, who's a little bit drunk, trying to fondle me while I'm trying to get a part, is really not the end of the world, okay? And not something that we should end Kevin Spacey's career over, or anyone else's for that matter. I'm sorry, you know? And on the subject of politicians, if we expect politicians to be, you know, the only way you can be a politician is to somehow be better than we ourselves can be, well, that's bullshit. Who the fuck do we think we are to demand that? You know, because the politicians come exactly from us. Exactly from us. You know, I don't care who you are, as liberal as you are, Donald Trump represents us. He comes from us. He's not all that different from us. I don't care, you know what I mean? I see a lot of myself in Donald Trump, and we're very different. But I see a lot of myself in Trump, man, and it cracks me up. And, you know, I'm just, thank God he hasn't, I said earlier in a post, the man has not, at least he hasn't organized mass murder. You know what I mean? He hasn't done that. And so there's a huge difference between him and like Hitler. Huge so far. I mean, so far, he's a harmless, lovable little fuzzball, to use a phrase of ditto heads about Rush Limbaugh. Because, like, yeah, let's not blow shit out of proportion. But let's not cut him any slack either, okay? Now, I have a low battery on this, so I'm just gonna cut this video short here. I hope that you'll follow my posts on Facebook, continue to do so, facebook.com/JTCSF, and watch my videos. No farting in this one, guys, sorry. A lot of the fart fans on YouTube are, looking for more farts, but I think I farted loudly enough in this one, enough to satisfy those that are not obsessed only with the literal farts, okay? So, let's just call that, I don't know, let's just call that done, I guess. But anyway, I love you guys. Let's say a prayer for Trump and Joe Courtney. And Father Patrick Ryan, repose of the soul of Patrick Ryan. Now, and let's say a prayer for Adam Neely. I'm throwing him in there for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. Left as an exercise for the reader. Because as far as I know, Adam Neely, I have to say this, I'm sorry. I was going to try to be big and be like, you know what, stand by it and trust them to know. But no, Adam Neely has nothing in common with any of those guys. He's like the sweetest sweetheart, I'm sure. As far as I know. Adam, until you show yourself to be, grabbing people by the, I'm sure Adam has grabbed a couple pussies or dicks, or hopefully both, maybe, I don't know, Anyway, in his lifetime, I'm sure. Between playing the bass and doing other gigs and everything else, I mean, in the bathroom at those wedding gigs, who knows, right? I mean, I don't know, anyway. I hope that Adam is laughing, if he's watching this laughing, not like too much of us. I hope he's not so lofty that he is shitting marble over that, going, oh my God, this is like, I can't have the rotation. Adam, I love that video. I saw a video of you and Rick Beato. It was like my dream that you guys would get together. And of course you guys did. And wow, makes me so happy. So a prayer for Adam Neely, our President 45, Joe Courtney, and Father Patrick Ryan, and who else was there that I mentioned? Oh well. All right. So, Lord, watch over these people who I've just named, that they are important to me, and they're important to us as a people, as your creation, living and dead. Let us learn from them. Let us grow in our relation to them and understand that they are from us and not apart from us. Let us try to understand why you have inspired them as you have. Let us learn to love and not hate. And let us, those of us that are musicians, grow in musicianship in a way very similar to Adam Neely's growth as a musician, because that is the way to be a musician. All right. Peace. I will see you all later. Have a good night. Love you. Bye.